Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Well, it's time to unlock your quiet power and to thrive. The Unapologetic Introvert recently launched. We touched on it. I don't know if you caught that episode, but the author of this book, I get to say, is a friend of mine. Her name is Brendalyn Player, and she is fabulous. And we are going to learn a little bit more about Brendalyn. We're going to learn about what pushed you to put out the Unapologetic Introvert and what we can find in the book and how you hope it helps. First off, thanks for joining me.
You are so welcome, and I am so happy to be here today.
So, Brendalyn, tell us a little bit about you. Like a bit about your personality and what pushed you to put it here.
Well, obviously, I am an introvert, but I wasn't always proud of being an introvert. Really, I didn't even know I was an introvert for a very, very long time. I call it that nervous, queasy feeling when you kind of feel a little bit out of place, when you feel uncomfortable in certain situations, but you can't really pinpoint it. When you feel like you want to shrink back and you always want to take the back seat when you know you belong at the table. Struggle with that for many years. And the Unapologetic Introvert is really my journey through processing what I was going through, understanding the stages or my experience as an introvert and how it started, and then understanding what introversion actually is. And a lot of people aren't aware of what it is to be an introvert.
So what is it? Because I think we may have a misconception of what being an introvert actually is.
Yes, one of the things I learned when I started to research was that introversion is on a spectrum. And Carl Jung coined the term introversion and extroversion. And it flows on a spectrum. Everyone has some space or fills some space within introversion to extroversion. Most of us kind of flow in between. In the ambivert space, that's that middle space where people can kind of get along one way or the other. We learn how to adapt in various circumstances. However, extroverts get their energy from external sources, and introverts, we get our energy internally. Introverts like to spend time alone. We are deep thinkers. We love our imagination. We love quiet time. We work alone very well. And there's also a misconception that because of that, we are disconnected. We are too analytical. We take too long to answer questions, and we feel guilty about that. We feel as though we are not performing at the standard that we should, especially when we look at our extrovert counterparts, colleagues, and friends. And because of that, we internalize that we have a deficit, and that only enhances that feeling like you don't belong, you're not good enough, and that you're not performing to standard. So my journey was going back to the beginning, which was my childhood, to identify where those feelings started, how my personality developed, and then going forward to become more aligned with who I really am. An introvert who is confident in her introversion and who has the courage to stand in her truth.
Go ahead.
So as I went on that journey, I looked at my own personal childhood, and it revealed that introversion for me, of course, is genetically predisposed. Everyone has a temperament, and that's what introversion and extroversion is. It's considered a temperament. It's considered the way in which we interact in our environment, whether we draw our energy from external or whether we draw our energy from internal sources. That's our temperament, and it's genetically predisposed. However, our personalities are very connected with our temperaments. The thing that we don't recognize is that personalities are influenced by our environment. It's influenced by our family, our experiences, sometimes trauma influences our personality. But the good thing is, once you identify how your personality plays into your introversion and extroversion, you know that personalities have the ability to be adjusted in terms of the behaviors that you become accustomed to. Your coping mechanisms can be adjusted. Things that you have identified that you do to deal with your introversion, your feelings of being uncomfortable in social environments, your feelings of wanting to withdraw, your feelings of being inadequate or not good enough, that there are things that you can do to adjust so that in your personality, you are able to be authentically introverted, but still very much confident in your presence. So, because I am an introvert, I am more aware now. I understand the feelings and I understand where they come from. So I can, when I'm feeling exhausted in an environment, I'm aware that this is overstimulating. And that gives me the opportunity to be proactive rather than reactive, so that I can let the people around me or either engage differently or withdraw in a way that doesn't make me feel guilty, because guilt is another thing that we suppress as introverts. So when you are self-aware and then self-accepting, then you are empowered as an introvert to make better choices for yourself. That alone will give you confidence, but it also opens up the conversation for others so that they understand your needs a little bit better. It works for the introvert to extrovert relationships as well as introvert to introvert, because we understand why we make different choices. There are no two that are alike.
So how did the book come to be? How did you get from thinking about it to then getting it to where it is now?
I have been thinking about writing for a very long time. So most of us have thoughts of writing a book in our minds. Well, I met Shanna Thornton, and she is the owner of Thorncraft Publishing. And I talked with her about it and subsequently ended up in her writing class. Well, she had a great writing class where I would write a chapter and come back and the group would talk through, or we kind of work through how the chapter was going and strengths and weaknesses and improvements that could be made. And over time, Shanna and I developed a really close relationship, and she agreed, thankfully, to support me in getting my book to completion. And so even though she has her own publishing company, she was so humble in encouraging me and saying, you can do this, that she provided me the leadership, the guidance, the mentorship to do my own self-publishing. And I will be forever grateful for her empowering me to step outside of my comfort zone, but also to be my guide in that process. And so together, this book came to fruition.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather on Main Street.
Well, no major Monday blues here. I think we're just fine. For today, it's tonight where things start to change just a little bit. Starting the day out in the upper 40s and lower 50s across much of the area. We get up to near 70 for our highs. Those winds out of the south bring us back to mild weather like we saw the day before yesterday. Yesterday was a little cooler. Notice off to our west, rain starting to move on through. It's tonight where we see that into our area. Notice widespread shower and thunderstorm activity here. Level 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather by Tuesday. We'll watch that very carefully, but by the holidays, I think we're doing just fine with 50s across the area.
If you want the latest in weather conditions, be sure to tune in to our Busy Bee Plumbing Weather Report each weekday on Mornings on Main Street. Brought to you, of course, by Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning. We will keep you updated on the latest conditions outside, like severe weather, heat, snow, rain, and even hail.
Nashville's Nutcracker, presented by Nashville Ballet, returns to TPAC November 29th through December 28th. This holiday season, audiences will journey with Clara and the Nutcracker Prince through Nashville's history and the land of sweets. Tickets on sale at NashvilleBallet.com.
The holidays bring us together. Gather with loved ones where over 1 million lights shine and celebrate a beloved tradition at Cheekwood's Holiday Lights. Explore the festive mansion decorated by former White House florist Laura Dowling. And wander through a magical wonderland of gardens aglow. Get into the spirit of the season at Cheekwood.
As we get into your book, what will we find in here? Walk us through the chapters.
Well, so the book is designed, and it's intentionally designed to have a soft feel because introverts are typically tactile. I am a book lover, so I love the way books feel, and it was important that this book felt soft in my hand and very pliable. And when you open the pages, that the pages have that rough texture like you felt in library books. Do you remember when you had your favorite book and you made notes in it and you could hear it scratching?
Yeah.
That's how this book is written. So each chapter goes through my journey. And so it's broken down into sections.
Mhm.
The first section is my journey through learning or uncovering and peeling back the layers of why I leaned into introversion. Talks a little bit about my trauma as a child and the things that made me turn deeply inward. And I used introversion as a way to cover my feelings of rejection and imperfection. A lot of people don't know, but I have cerebral palsy. And I didn't realize as a young child that I had siblings, 3 older sisters and 2 younger brothers. And I didn't look like them. Didn't look like my siblings, didn't look like my classmates, and then as an adult, didn't look like my colleagues. I worked differently, and internalizing that made me feel like I wasn't good enough. And so part of my leaning heavily into introversion was hiding my feeling of not being good enough and my feelings of imperfection because of cerebral palsy. So as I went through the stages of how I understood my introversion, it empowered me to move forward, to release my feelings of inadequacy, and to start living in my own truth. The next phase of that is to go through the whole process of what actually is introversion and how does it show up in our lives. Really an important part of suppressing your feelings. And this is important for introverts. I'm going to say like me, because not all introverts are alike. There are introverts who are very much confident and they understand their lifestyles and they've actually built careers, relationships, and how they live around their preferences. They're very confident in their introversion. I'm talking about those who are more like me, who feel that queasy feeling, who are in professions that cause them to have to be in extrovert kind of environments to perform in extrovert types of ways. But it's very difficult and it's a struggle and it drains their energy at the end of the day. And we push through it without the proper tools. So the second phase of the book talks about owning that. And what are some of the tools that we can use to build more confidence in our introversion and to own it and to be more proactive about it? And then the third section is coming into our own and having the courage. So walking through, once you've learned, once you are accepting, once you're self-aware, once you are self-accepting, now let's be courageous and take the steps and really honor our preferences. So this talks about my journey. This year, I've done more to show introverts what it's like to step into your power. I've done things, I've leaned into my own introverted nature and my own truth in ways I've never done before. And it was intentional to set an example for others. When I write the book, this is very much about lived experience. I'm not telling you what I think, I'm showing you what I know.
My friend, Brendalyn Player, thank you so much for giving us some of your time here at Mornings on Main Street. You guys out there, I encourage you to order your Unapologetic Introvert book now. Go ahead and head over to Brendalyn's website. Give that website one more time.
Unapologeticintrovert.com.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This holiday season, the largest lantern festival in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. Experience more than 1,000 all-new handcrafted lanterns, towering creatures, magical worlds, and a North Pole village. At the center of it all, the Smashville Ice Rink. Welcome back to Zoolumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
Busy bee, yeah, busy bee. If you need
Hold on, y'all, hold on. I need to make a call. Hey, this is Brianna with Busy Bee. I'm giving you a call to let you know your technician is on his way.
333.
Busy bee. Guys, not yet. Not yet.
Busy bee, oh,
Now
busy
ready,
bee.
guys.
Call 775-7833.
Welcome back. You can find the Unapologetic Introvert by going to Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, or by just going to the website, unapologeticintrovert.com. On the website, you'll also be able to click on her TEDx talk and then her podcast interview, The Unapologetic Introvert, exploring how embracing your quiet nature can be your superpower in your personal and professional life. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.